Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel, Jack Asphalt Trades. Well, today what we got going on is we're not in the shop, we're not in the kitchen, we're in the marina. So what we're going to be doing is we're going up on the tide grid. So we're going to try to get some shots of taking the boat out, scenic Vancouver Harbour, and then get us on the tide grid. So stick around, hopefully this is a good one. Okay, we got you underway here in the wheelhouse. I should have had a camera mount here and done the outside and the inside at the same time, but it's the way she's gonna be. So somebody in the way here clearing the breakwater. So we're just headwind, about 8 knots, and we're just gonna switch up to our cruising screens. Engine, rear deck. So hang on for the ride, and we'll check in with you when we're going underneath the bridge. Stabilizers off. You never want to go into close quarters maneuvers with the stabilizers, particularly backing up. It just confuses them to no end. Sure feel it on the boat, the difference now. We don't need to keep them on when we're in the harbor, but my cat is a little bit more comfortable. Walk you through what I'm doing here. So I've got a hailer on so I can hear Nadine on the back deck. I'm going to switch this radio from vessel traffic to 16 because if anybody's going to call me, they're going to call me on 16. And we'll get things going. So right now we're in cruise mode on the transmission. We're going to go into express. And what that allows me to do is slip the clutches in the transmission for very, very, very smooth engagement and close quarters maneuvering. So no clunky clunk on the running gear. I got to go back into neutral and there. You see the lever? I just get some movement here, but I'm not changing the RPM. I'm just slipping the clutches. And now the transmission is locked up and I have RPM. And turn the thrusters on. Am I okay to go in? And we have a very slow steering wheel on this boat, which I hope is going to get fixed. Going to docking screen. Tells me I got 10 knots of wind right now on my port side. So I'm in neutral and I'm putting my rudder now. I'm kind of dead sticking here. I've got about, I don't know, 10, 20 degrees of rudder. I gotta turn the boat full rudder. I'm in neutral and power. And I'm not going to make this turn in reverse. We want the boat to turn. Back up a little bit, neutral, and forward. Her spinning. So over on the dock there by the crane is where we're gonna lay up. So I've got what 8 or 9 knots of wind on my bow, so that's gonna set me down as I turn. So I'm gonna turn late. Pretty much put my bow almost at the bow of that boat that's up there, pointing right at me. Six knots of wind. I got a fair bit of current, so I got wind and current going the same direction. So things are gonna happen a little faster than normal here. All right. Hard over rudder. I think I'm too late. Yeah, I'm too late. But that's fine. I got room. Neutral. I'm in reverse. Throttle up. up. I'm watching the cameras behind me, how much room I have on the shed. Neutral. Now I'm in forward. Now a little bit of throttle, and that will get my stern kicking. Now the wind's got me. 9 knots of wind, 10 knots of wind, gust to 12. Back down to 9. So I'm turning, approaching the dock. My stem is about 10 feet away, and I'm backing up now. Which is looking good. Rudder's still hard over, so now I'm just going to walk the boat with the shifter forward and reverse. The prop walks over. Now I'm going to use some bow thruster. Stern was swinging in. Bow thruster slows that down. Go to the back deck. Okay, there she is in neutral. Thruster's off. We'll tie it up. Morning, welcome to day 2. So we got a really spectacular day for going up on the hard. We've been in there when the sun is just baking down on you, and it's pretty gross. But this morning, a beautiful sunrise, and we'll get you stuck here up on the bow, and we'll get us into the grid. We gotta wait for another boat to come out, so stay tuned. We've had a little bit of anxiety this morning, waiting for a couple of boats, one boat to come off and another boat to go on. Not very communicative. So he's in a marina immediately adjacent here to where we're going up on the grid, and he's not been up on this grid before. So we tend to communicate. As you know, Tide waits for no man or woman, and that's what we got to deal with. So we're now kind of on the crunch. We're 7:30. Our high tide was 7 o'clock. It's a big tide, so we don't have much change, right at the top. But now we have to deal with a little bit of current. The sun's come up, so we've got a little bit of wind. We've got 5 knots here, kind of on my starboard side. play around. And now the boat's got a little bit of a list on it by design. I've added water to my starboard fuel tank. No, I didn't. I added water to my starboard water tank. And we're, because we've got to lean up against the wall, and you'll see all that in a bit. Welcome back. We don't have room for them.
Okay.
Thank you. .9 meters of water underneath us right now. A bit of a sandbar here from the creek. And getting up close to the beach here, there's only 2 knots of wind. Flags are laying, yeah, the flag actually flying there on the land is fluttering pretty good, so I'll have to anticipate. Could I have that gate open? It helps me see when I'm backing up.
All right, I'm just going to pop up here into the corner, and we can watch along here a little bit. I'm not very communicative myself here in this because I'm concentrating quite heavily. So I intended to do a little bit of narration as I was doing it, but again, I'm uptight.
Hailer on the back deck is handy. Oh, okay, I don't know if you can see it on the GoPro. Hopefully we're gonna be able to merge some files here and you can watch this both outside and inside, but there's about 6 inches of tide missing, which has got me a little disappointed and stressed.
I absolutely hate going into anywhere on a falling tide. It's totally counterintuitive. Corner a little nice and tight.
Little boat around the corner.
Pardon me?
Yeah, this one here on the corner.
Yeah. Oh, see, I'm just putting the boat in reverse. That's swinging the stern over to starboard. Rudders hanging over onto the port side. And you'll see the entrance to the tide grid open up here on the starboard side. So I have to swing my stern right at that little tug there. And now we're gonna be using the training wheels here a fair bit because this would be
My kingdom for a jog steer.
possible.
I said my kingdom for a jog steer.
Complaining the steering wheel is heavy, which I've since fixed. Maybe I'll get a video out there on that one.
Make it be a little bit of thruster work.
So now the rudder's hanging over to the starboard. Just gonna try to get the boat to rotate here. A little bit of bark forward, and then stop the boat from moving forward, and try not to discourage the rotation.
How many feet?
4 foot port from Nadine on the stern. So we gotta get her in this hole. There's not much room. You hear the distinct difference. That last one, that's bow thruster. That's stern thruster. The stern thruster helps move the bow over as the boat rotates on its center of mass. So
0.
little delicate movements.
How much room to that roller? How much room to that roller?
2 inches away.
Good.
Okay,
Thank you.
2-inch report
How much room, Nadine?
and a foot.
Okay.
Right now.
Okay, so 2 inches on one side and 12 inches on the other. That's why I asked for the fenders to be lifted.
Down 6 inches.
Nice and easy. Now I'm out of the wind. There's certainly no current in here, so it's just the boat is gonna behave as I do. It's all up to me to make the mistakes.
How many more feet before it clears gate?
Okay, so I'm asking how much to clear the gate because I have to get in on the starboard side. I have to get right over there on that wall. You can see those vertical posts. We're going to be just squeezing in there. So I think my rudder's amidship now. I'm not doing anything but using the throttle for basically moving the boat forward and back. You see how that stern thruster pushing the stern in, push the bow out. So it's gonna, they fight you. I rarely do them at the same time, except for now. Just made a liar out of myself. Because you add a whole bunch of energy to the boat all at once. And there you go. So we're just pretty much in here now. Now one of the challenges
Do you want milk down?
What? No.
No.
is a board that gets put down for sailboats, because sailboats got a round bilge. So, you know, there's a board. We're nice and long and flat, so we stand on many of these things.
Okay, we're gonna go well up.
So we've got to go forward about another 6 feet. Otherwise, too much of our stern hangs out off the tide grid. And we're going to move ourselves up here, and we just do it by hand. And you see this fellow here, very helpful. Everybody wants to take a line, and as a boat handler, you probably recognize it yourself if you're a boater. As soon as you give somebody a line, they yank on it, they pull on it, you know. And look what he's doing. He's pulling the line, and all he's successfully doing is pulling the bow in, which is kicking the stern out. So it's as much as you know, you anticipate that if you give somebody a line, you can just count on them hanging on to it. And that's why when we're docking, the lines don't.
Come up another 4 feet. How much room is on the bow?
So that's why when we're docking, lines don't go ashore until I ask for them to go ashore, because that's going to just add to the challenges. So anyway, we're pretty much in here, and we got to get the boat in position so the keel sits right. You can hear it in my voice. I'm uptight. Give things a little bump on the throttle.
How are we looking up there? You're there. Well, there doesn't say anything. Can I go further forward?
So you hear me chatting with this guy, and I'm asking him, stop pulling the bow. But anyway, there's a fair bit of tension there. So a little bit of Captain Bligh comes out. It's just a matter of efficient communication, and then we'll get the boat tied up here, and we'll show you the rest.
Okay, she's up on the hard now, and I kind of got out of the way and let the crew pressure wash it, and we'll just do a little inspection in the dark regions here. So fin stabilizers look good, transducer looks good. That's coming off next year anyway. So good, no issues there. And you're looking at the ground. Nothing ugly, nothing hit it. That's good. It's kind of on the dark side of the moon over here. I'm up against the wall. This is what she looks like above us. So if you're claustrophobic, this is not the place for you. And we're getting close to the business end here. Prop looks really good. And for all you boaters out there, it'd be a little controversial, but I paint the hub in here because there's very little velocity that slips over this area, and it keeps the growth off. And this is pretty evident that that's working. This is our feathering prop for our auxiliary, and I don't have one to replace this, though there is a shaft brush on this shaft because it's kind of an auxiliary shaft. Maybe I'll put a clamp on it with a wire on the inside of the boat, tie it into the bonding system. And this anode is to be expected, and these are to be expected. And I want to show you a little weirdness. Check this out here. What do you suppose that's from? I have a pretty good idea, considering its shape. I figure there's a radius. It's a radius here, and I think an air bubble gets trapped there, and that's the oxidization of the paint. I've never seen that before, so kind of weird. And I'll get back around over to this side. It's the sunny side. Engine pickup looks good. That's air conditioning pickup. Other side is generator. Stabilizer cooling. That's what that one is. And it's our dynaplate. Okay, let's mask this baby.
I should probably leave things here. It's getting long enough. I've got some video of backing out and going back through the harbor and back to our dock, but maybe I can put that together for another video another time. So that's basically it, us getting on the grid and some of the beautiful vistas we have here in our harbor, and going to the dark side of the moon and looking at the bottom of the boat. So if you like what you saw, give it a like. Thanks for watching.